Let's take the time to welcome Joseph Sikora, better known as Tommy from Power Book 4, Force.
Ash, how are you?
Good, good. Hopefully this will not be the first and last time we speak, so you got to make a trip to Indy since you're right around the corner.
I've only been to Indianapolis, literally like passing through years ago once. I'd love to spend more time out there.
You got to stop by here to the Circle City. You have to do it.
Done and done.
With being from Chicago and making a return with Power, how has your Tommy journey been?
The journey of Tommy has been long and amazing and exciting every single step of the way. From the inception of the character, which originally was called Eddie O'Neill, if you can believe it.
No.
It was changed to Tommy Egan right before we started filming. It was amazing getting to know Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. Having him as a boss and a mentor was really life-changing. The beautiful creativeness of Gary Lennon and Courtney A. Kemp, who wrote the show, and Courtney, who created the show and the characters along with 50. And then also from inception of Mark Canton, the great Hollywood producer who brought everybody together. And then also being cast with some of the most amazing actors I've ever worked with in my career. It would behoove me to say that Omari Hardwick just does an amazing job. I loved acting with him between action and cut. You couldn't get a better actor. Naturi Naught and Leela Lauren, the list goes on and on. And I'm sorry I'm so long-winded, Ash, but I gotta give love and credit to my new cast on Power Book 4, Force, which is second to none on any television show in the history of television.
Right.
We have old heads who are bringing their A game, like Tommy Flanagan, Chicago theater legends like Guy Van Swearingen and Anthony Fleming III. People would say, oh, they're newcomers, but I've been watching them on stages for the past 30 years in Chicago. We've got young bucks, homegrown talent like Ahmad Ferguson and Lucian Cambridge, and these beautiful young actors like Lily Simmons and Gabrielle Ryan, Shane Harper. The list just keeps going on, and it doesn't stop. Can't stop, won't stop.
It's truly been phenomenal to see your growth into the Power universe, into Power Force. And I'm just going to say it. At this point, you have to have been renewed for season 2 and 3 by now, right?
I like how you think. Ash, you're my new favorite person. I like that double season 2, season 3 announcement combo coming out. Can you talk to somebody at Starz, please?
I will. You have to be.
I think that we will get. I think that we will. I think that will definitely be picked up. I think it's just the inner workings of the network. I have no fear. Jeff Hirsch, who runs the company, knows what he's doing. And then, of course, my boss, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, is also. You know what I mean? Everything's on board. Everybody's aligned, and we're gonna keep making this show for years to come and making everybody happy.
Now, is it true you ignored your initial audition for the show?
I did not ignore it, but I did pass on it.
Okay.
Because I was getting married, and then also I was, believe it or not, I mean, I've been in New York for so long, but I was actually going back to Chicago to get married and bringing my wife, who's from out here, back to Chicago, because I was like, oh, let me get married in the church that I was baptized in, and blah, blah, blah. So after Holy Name Cathedral, headed back to New York, and the audition came back around because initially Curtis 50 Cent Jackson was supposed to be the role of Ghost, and they started building the series up that way. So when it came back and 50 decided that Omari was the right choice for Ghost, they had this second round of auditions that came through, and I auditioned 5 times for the Tommy character. I was the only actor of the 4 leads, even though Naturi is from New Jersey. I was the only one of the 4 leads that actually got cast out of New York City. So I had to do the pre-read, the audition, the studio test, the chemistry read, and then the network test. So it's a process. They made me work for it.
It's a process, but that also shows what's meant for you will be for you and you only. So when you got the role of Tommy, what was the first conversation you had with 50 Cent?
I showed up at the G-Unit offices that used to be there in Midtown. I walked in with Omari Hardwick, who played Ghost, and Curtis gave us both a big hug. It's the only time I've ever had a boss give me a hug. And what that showed to me is that I was loved and supported from the beginning. 50 was always accessible when I wanted to ask questions about Southside Jamaica, about his growing up, and then I just watched tons and tons and tons of 50 Cent interviews and based a lot of the Tommy character around the character of Curtis 50 Cent Jackson.
I've seen you in a lot of different shows and movies, but most recently, it seems like the common theme for you is that you're being casted as like a drug dealer. So when it comes to that, is there any roles that you would want to do that's drastically different from playing Tommy?
James Bond.
Ooh, now that is drastically different. How would you think people respond to that?
I think that they would love it. They eat it up. Let's make some calls. You're full of these good ideas. I love this season 2, season 3 thing. I like this James Bond thing.
At this point, I'm going to need a percentage, at this point, because we're just throwing out amazing ideas out here. Okay, let's get back to Power and where you left us last Sunday. At the very end, my mind was blown. Diamond's brother came through and saved Tommy and Liliana, and you were blessed to see another day. Where is this twist of, is it loyalty, or is there a bigger story that we're not seeing at the moment?
I mean, it depends on how you see that last scene. You saw it. You're a Jannard fan. You're a Chris Lofton fan, Ash. I can tell that right now, and I don't blame you. But I would say that the other side of that coin is that he did not care about anybody's life. He was coming there for retribution for the death of his best friend Elijah, played brilliantly by Jeremiah. And instead of that, I think that they both escaped death. They all escaped death by the hair on their chin.
Right.
And not so much that he was trying to save Liliana, but that he wanted retribution. So it depends on how you see that character, and you see that character as a flawed hero. And I like you for that.
Oh, I love that because I didn't even think about that. Well, you know what? We will see more. I know you gotta go, but I don't want to let you go. So, in 30 seconds or less, tell everyone why they need to be tuned in to Power Book 4 Force.
Power Book 4 Force is the hottest, sexiest, most explosive show on television. We broke all the numbers for a reason because this is the hottest thing that you're going to be able to watch. So tune in to start at 8 p.m. every Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, or do yourself a favor and get the app and watch it at midnight.
That's me. I watch at midnight because I can't have any spoilers at all. Joe, I appreciate your time. It was a pleasure speaking with you. Until next time.
Pleasure to speak with you, Ash.